The Clippers and Nuggets is a matchup I did not think I needed. The Clippers and Nuggets look like out of all four matchups I'm gonna be talking about today, I feel like they're gonna be the most enjoyable easily. That's gonna be my take, because of we are finally gonna see Kawhi healthy. Like I don't think y'all know how much I've been holding on to that sentence this whole year, because the Clippers have been playing and they've been trying and they've been going and they've been quiet. I'm going to put that emphasis. They have been quiet because they've been forced to play. They have been forced to take all the jokes. They've been forced to stay in the shadows for so long. And the fact that everything is coming to fruition right now, from when they lost Paul George to having to keep... They lost Paul George. They lost Russ. They had to make James Harden run the team. They had to minute restrict Kawhi Leonard and slowly ramp him up. So even when they were going on win streaks, even when they're beating teams they had no business beating, they still had to just breathe. So the fact that I'm watching Kawhi put up 30 points in the last game of the season, I'm watching Harden put up 30 points in the last game of the season, Norman Powell is looking like an all-star, and there's Zubac is also hooping like a sub all-star. They have so many players on this team that has gone through so much adversity to get to this moment right now. They have set themselves up to not only win this playoff series against the Nuggets. I'm gonna give my prediction right now. I think the Clippers win in 4. No, that's too much. I got excited. The Clippers is 6. I'll say the Clippers is 6. I got a little excited. But it feels like not only are they not only are they firing on all cylinders, but it seems like they're running schemes that they weren't able to run in past seasons. Like even when they went and picked up Ben Simmons, I thought, why would you even waste your time? And he's even starting to ramp himself up. All right, I'm gonna sit back and talk about this team real quick. Let me talk about this Clippers team. So their starting 5 is so underrated to me, right? So you got Harden at the 1. He was an all-star this year. He's averaging like 22 and like 10-ish, give or take, right? And then here's the guy I really want to talk about. Chris Dunn has been moving so crazy. His motor has been pushing past a whole bunch of eyes. And the fact that I feel like the NBA needs to put more emphasis on defense, especially in the highlights, because of the amount of times that I'm watching and I'm like, how did you even get there? Is insane when we start getting to a guy like Chris, Dunn. Even this last game against the Warriors, where he was picking up a whole bunch of fouls, he was still making it almost impossible for Curry to actually get a rhythm. Keep in mind, he was able to hold Curry to like 18 points into the fourth quarter, and he was shooting I'm not even going to say like 18 points is not crazy, but I will say if you're watching the game, every single point was definitely earned. And not even to mention, majority of those points in and of themselves weren't even on Chris Dunn to begin with. Chris Dunn has been hooping. And it's getting to the point where it's like his motor it might be one of the best in the league in all honesty. Because it feels like he doesn't stop. And honestly, I'm just excited for him because he's had a tough NBA career, because of when he was in the Timberwolves, everyone off the bat just gave up on him, because keep in mind, he was a high draft pick. He got shipped off, and the fact that he's finally found a home in the upstart Clippers has been so good to watch. And then jumping down to Norman Powell, like I was mentioning earlier, he has been hooping. To start the season off, he said when they asked, what are you going to do with Paul George being traded? And he's like, we're going to hoop. I'm going to do what Paul George was doing. I'm going to out-hoop him. And you know what? Let me look at his stats. And he ended up the season with 21, 3, and 2 on 48% shooting from the field. That is nice. I just saw something. When he plays against the Denver Nuggets, he puts up 27.8 every single game, shoots 48% from 3 and 53% from the field. That is nice. That is we gotta really be serious. Let's look at the way let's see how they play against the Nuggets. So Harden puts up 23-9, shoots 33% from 3, 39% from the field. So he doesn't play that well against them. Let's look at Kawhi Leonard. Let's see what he's been up to. He puts up 21 and 3. 40% from 3, 49% from the field. So he might be setting himself up to play really well against them. And not to mention the backups. Let's talk about the backups real quick. I feel like the Clippers might have a top 5 second string squad in the league. That's really what it looks like, because they have a whole bunch of guys that's like, oh yeah, no, I can play. Like, if you need me to, I will do all the dirty work all the time, and I will love it. Because let's look at their second string. Bogdan, Amir Coffey, Derek Jones Jr., Ben Simmons, and Chris Dunn. That is a great starting 5, at least on the defensive end. Whew. And not even to mention the Nicholas Batums of the world, the Bogdan Bogdanoviches of the world. So they have a pretty good roster. And I feel like they're able to match up really well with the Denver Nuggets because of all the teams in the playoffs this season. I feel like the one team that's been on a dastardly free fall is easily the Denver Nuggets. Even though Jokic has been putting up probably one of the best NBA seasons of all time, he's not going to win the MVP. It'd be like that. But it feels like their team is trying their best to piss him off. Not even to mention the fact that they went and got rid of their head coach, their NBA champion head coach, Mike Malone. They've gotten rid of, oh my God. When I sit back and think about their finals run, I get a little bit upset because they've had so many good players on their team. Not even to mention a guy like Bruce Bowen, right? They have got rid of so many glue guys, so many defensive guys that they just said, hey, it doesn't matter. We're just going to drop and go. We're going to figure it out as the season goes on. We are going to pick up our offense to make up for our dropping in defense. But that's not how the league works. That's not a good thing. I'm sorry. That just doesn't play out well. Especially when you get to the point of trying to match up with a lot of these teams. So I just think that's going to be their biggest strife. And that's my biggest strife for me, because I don't think we're going to realize how bad of a matchup it's going to be to have Jokic being the main offensive engine and having to hold down the defense on the other end. Because not even to mention, the only defensive guy that they have on their team that's like, I like defense, I will play defense, I love to play defense, is Aaron Gordon. And Russell Westbrook. That is it. So that's the only guys. And if that is what you're going to bet all your cards on, especially defensively, that is not a good plan. I don't know what they're thinking. I do not know what they're thinking, because I'm not even saying that you should go out your way and sign a whole bunch of defensive specialists. You should be able to switch 1 through 5. You're supposed to do da-da-da-da. But my thing is, when you have so many players on your team that are leaking defensively, you kind of do need to have them. You kind of do. Because it was like, y'all got rid of KCP. Y'all got rid of Bruce Bowen. That's not good. That's not good. There's so many lacking defensive positions on this team. Makes me so worried for how they plan to generate offense. Because the main thing that they've been doing is the Murray, Jokic, pick and rolls, Murray and Jokic playing off each other, MPJ playing off Jokic, Aaron Gordon playing off Jokic, Christian Brown playing off Jokic, and my thing is the way that they naturally play, they like to have a hub and have everyone else work around that. That's kind of the reason why. That's kind of the reason why a guy like Russell Westbrook has had a resurgence in his careers recently, because he's been able to basically do what Jokic does, but like from the point guard position instead of the center position, which is kind of like, it's a little faulty here and there, but hey, you got to do what you got to do. You got to get an engine where you got an engine, right? So I'm sitting back and I'm worried because of, it's not the fact that they're going to slow down Jokic. That's going to be the least of their worries. They're going to slow down everybody else. Like, not even to mention the fact that, what's his face? Not even to mention the fact that Jamal Murray has been, I won't say he's been going through a slump, but I think that I haven't been that high on Jamal Murray. Let me start that off there. Let me start it off there. I feel like a player like Jamal Murray kind of gets elevated when you start adding on a guy like Jokic that's able to give you perfect shot after perfect shot after perfect shot, right? And he kind of comes alive when he goes to the playoffs, but that's because that the teams that he's been playing in the playoffs aren't really set up to be able to guard them, really. But a team like the Clippers kind of get excited when you see a team like that, right? When you see a player like that. Like, even when you look at his shooting splits and his points per game against the Clippers, he puts up 26 on 50-50 shooting, which is really good. Which that's like the creme de la creme from three at least. But my whole thing is, if they throw Chris Dunn on him the whole series, well, let me put it like this. They have the ability to pseudo copy what the Timberwolves did to the Nuggets last year, where they're able to send a whole bunch of tall guards to just consistently hound them. They're going to be lucky. They're going to be excited if Jamal Murray is able to get Harden matchups. That's going to be their best case scenario. But my whole thing is, Harden's a pretty good defender. He's not a cone as much as everybody tries to tell y'all. So y'all are going to be forced to bank on one player and one player alone in Nikola Jokic. Nikola Jokic has been killing it this year. He's been averaging a 29-12 and 10 trip dub. The first player since his teammate Russell Westbrook. Keep hooping, Russ. We love you. And let's see how he plays against the Clippers. One of the craziest things about this season, literally everybody has the same record. The Clippers have a 50-32 record, and the Denver Nuggets has a 50-32 record. That is insane, right? I'm a little bit worried on if Jokic is just going to be like, you know what? I think I'm just going to have to carry this team. Like, I will be the engine. I will be the one that's doing majority of the work. Because we've seen him. He doesn't really like to play that role. He would rather be a team sport because it's difficult to be the one that's just consistently pushing the margins. He's just the one that's optimal, where the best case scenario is a Jokic pass to a Jamal Murray, because if he's worried that if everybody is not firing on all cylinders, it's going to be tough for him to score 60, 70. Because the one game that he did put up 60, it was in a loss. He lost still. He still lost against the Timberwolves. So it's going to be tough. But honestly, I think that it's going to be the Clippers in 6, Clippers in 5, Clippers in 6 at most.